Welcome to my bedroom studio. My bedroom studio. So before we get started, let's go over some of the common terms. Bedroom production. It's producing music from a bedroom. Some people refer to it as home studio recording. Some people say self-recording or DIY. There's a few different terms. DAW or DAW, which is the digital audio workstation, is a virtual studio in which all the magic happens. And if you're working exclusively within the DAW, you're said to be working in the box. Plugins or VSTs, virtual studio technology, are sort of like virtual musical instruments that you can operate within the DAW. A bounce is like a digital copy of the song you're working on, bounced or exported down from the DAW. An audio interface is like a device which connects microphones and other real instruments to the DAW through your laptop. MIDI, as in MIDI keyboard, is sort of like the language in which these musical instruments speak, so that when we take MIDI information, we can plug it into the DAW and we can get music out, essentially. And remote collaborations are working with people or multiples thereof from separate locations. Cool. Historically, people have always been making music from their bedrooms, but the last 10 to 15 years or so can show us how far we've actually come. So in the 1970s, when portable 4-track tape recorders became commercially available, it inspired waves of amateur musicians to try their hand at it, spawning plenty of new genres over the next couple of decades, like garage rock, DIY, electronic music, alt rock, indie, lo-fi, the list goes on. Fast forward a couple of years, now we have better music hardware, like laptops and interfaces. We have better music software, like DAWs and VSTs. More affordable equipment, microphones, amps, guitars, etc. Plus readily available online learning content, which is free. And that comes courtesy of the internet. The internet. As well as the internet, we have online communities on the internet, creating and demanding new music fast. Not even to mention social media. They're providing platforms for like-minded artists to interact and to share music from bedrooms all over the world. So it really is no wonder why in the last couple of years, bedroom production has taken off, with many budding producers and musicians locked in their room trying to upload the next Old Town Road to SoundCloud. And then the pandemic happened. Now, every musician was stuck inside. So I started playing music with bass and ukulele when I was younger. Played in a teenage rock band and went on to study music in college afterwards. Standard. So sometime after that, I started focusing on making my own music myself, using the minimal equipment I could get my hands on at the time. Since then, I have settled back home, obviously, and now produce music from my bedroom. I like working with other people that I get along with, who share similar ethos to me, or at least we like each other's music. So sometimes I think working with someone else is as simple as reaching out and sending a message. And just in general, being open about collaborating is going to be best. Once you find them, just get going, get started. I like writing my own music, of course, but adding new elements to an existing idea is very creatively stimulating. Usually I'd receive a demo of a song idea and I'd take a little listen first. So the way I work inside the DAW isn't necessarily the best way, but it's the way that works best for me. So let's take a quick listen. So this little idea we're going to take a look at comes from Jamie, a frequent collaborator and friend of mine. I can see that he's labelled it BPM 71 at the end, which just means the tempo is going to be 71. Cheers, Jamie. Jamie also goes by the name Pack of Howling Wolves. We did his debut LP right here in the first lockdown. So let's go ahead and take a look at the idea. Cool, that'll do nicely. So now that we have our tempo, cheers Jay, we can add some rhythmic elements like drums. Now, I don't have a drum kit, nor am I a drummer. What I do have is access to MIDI drums through the DAW and by means of a MIDI keyboard. This one is the Akai MPK Mini. I'm going to be using all the pads here to do some drums. So inside any DAW, Ableton included, there are going to be tons and tons and tons of stock drum sounds and drum samples that you can choose from. So here we can hear some of the kits. Go for a nice 707 chord kit. And just for the practicality of it, let's just get some sort of idea down now. Perfect, rough and ready. Now, I am not a drummer, as you can tell. I'm a bedroom producer. So let's take a look at what we've just recorded. This is the piano roll. So this is where all of our MIDI information is essentially stored and can be viewed and edited, if need be. So what we're going to do is select all, Control A, and Control U to quantize. Quantize is essentially snapping all the notes and all the parts to the grid. Now this grid is going to be the grid according to 71 beats per minute. So hopefully everything here will be snapped into place. However, from time to time, if you're an actual drummer, the quantization setting can kill the human feel. But if you're a bedroom producer like me and you don't know how to play drums, the quantization can actually give it the feel that you want it to. So again, play around with it. So we have our drums, we have our initial idea. Let's go ahead and add another track. We'll go for some bass next, because I actually have one here. Now, unlike digital instruments, real instruments like a bass will go out of tune, especially 70-year-old basses. Short scale pensioner. Let's go ahead and plug that in. So I'm plugging this in just through the interface. The interface I'm using is the Behringer Euphoria 404 HD. Again, just over 100 quid, cheap and cheerful. So let's go ahead and just get something down. That last note was off. That last note was niggling me. But the most important thing is that we got our demo idea down. Not to strive for perfection straight away, because you could be recording all day long. Trust me. So now that we have that down, let's go ahead and add another layer. Let's go for some synth. Now, there are tons and tons of VSTs or plugins that you can get, and a lot of them are actually free and available online. So one that I really like is called Synth One. Really easy to remember, Synth One. Once you get through all of these parameters and buttons, it's quite easy to operate. So let's go ahead and just get some idea down. Nor am I a keyboard player, but you get the idea. So that's the synth one. Likewise, with the stock drum sounds, there are tons and tons and tons of stock synthesizer sounds, stock instrument sounds, so to speak. So let's go ahead and use one of them. Quite like Operator. Let's go for a pad sound. Bright will do. So again, we're just adding another layer to the idea. Rough and ready, very dissonant, much to Jamie's liking. So at this stage, I would usually spend a bit of time on the drum kit. For example, I would pan some elements left and right and all over the stereo field. With the raw bass signal, it wouldn't stay raw for long. I would be putting different effects and virtual amps on it to get a better sound. Likewise, with the synth layers, I'm going to be adding some audio effects, reverbs, EQs, and automations just to play around with the sounds overall. But using minimal equipment, so MIDI keyboard, granted the bass, I've managed to just get some sort of idea down. Some of the other equipment that I use would be the Shure SM48, which is the little mate of the SM58, but it's cheaper and hardier. Everyone knows it. So I also have an S1 SE-X1 condenser mic, and my monitors are the M Audio BX5s. So from just looking at our DAW example there, I just wanted to go over a few things. Although striving for perfection is good in its essence, you don't want to produce something that's terrible, but striving for perfection can also lead you to go mad. You'll start to doubt yourself. Sometimes it's best to just get that idea down. And another thing which you won't really see in interviews with famous producers or artists or any other video are the countless hours that many producers will spend skimming through sample packs, tweaking EQs, all the ugly stuff that is necessary and doesn't seem as glamorous when talking about music and production and the finished product. But it's very real for many producers. So for people just starting off, know that everybody has done it. Of course, while the concept of collaborating and making music is relatively straightforward, it doesn't always happen that way. The impact of COVID-19 can be seen in many places, felt in many ways, and that just goes without saying, as I'm sure most people are tired of hearing about it. But when collaborating with others, there are some things you can do to certainly ease things along. Take breaks. Your eyes and your ears will thank you for it. Unfortunately, we're spending more time in front of screens than usual. It's not good for us in general, so taking breaks will help your body and your mind. Go for a walk or something. There's no instant gratification in creative projects. And fortunately, we are way too used to having instant gratification in our daily lives. So setting mini goals when you're doing something creative will help these feelings. Check in with other people, but also respect their boundaries. Sometimes sending out a message is all that somebody needs to hear, but don't be offended if they don't reciprocate straight away. It's impossible to tell what somebody else might be feeling on a given day. No FOMO. Fear of missing out. Everyone moves at their own pace, so watching others journey on their path won't always reflect the way you should be doing it right now. Stay positive. There are lots of exciting things coming up. Just like everyone else, many people in the industry have been stuck inside, probably editing movies and music for all of us to just enjoy once this is over. Probably a lot of cool events coming up too. So my writing and working process can vary depending on the project or simply my mood. This suits me best, though it may be discerning to others. Personally, I like to float around from one seat to another, this instrument then another, allowing the process to happen naturally. But other more specific projects, where I have a set goal, like mixing or editing, it would usually involve me being more disciplined and not budging from the chair for hours at a time. So, all this talk of bedroom production, you're probably wondering, have you ever listened to a song that was produced in a bedroom? And the answer is probably yes, but I can't be for sure. So my definition of bedroom production, again, it's going to be slightly different to someone else's definition. I would disregard fancy basement studios as being bedroom produced, but that's just me. Let's say earlier this year, Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas picked up Record of the Year at the Grammys for a bedroom production piece. They did so last year at the Grammys also, so that's 2 years in a row the Record of the Year has been produced in a bedroom. I think that's incredible. Around this time last year, Charlie XCX, she did her album in quarantine and again made a documentary about it. It's insane. Other acts, let's say Jacob Collier, he's won several Grammys for all of his stuff he's done in his bedroom, namely a few of the tunes from his 2015 album In My Room. Other acts, we got Flume, Aphex Twin, Ween. Those are some early pioneers of bedroom production. Then we have people like Mac DeMarco, Steve Lacy, Clairo. Incredible. One of the best-selling albums in Ireland ever was David Gray's White Ladder. That was recorded in his bedroom. I found the best way to practice production is to try and complete a song or a project. Even if they aren't the most accurate representation of your abilities, finishing projects and moving on to others will allow you to carry forth that knowledge gained through practice. Other fun ways to get familiar with working in a DAW are to spend some time looking through the various presets, audio effects and sample sounds that you can find in most DAWs. So what might go unnoticed by others might inspire you. So as you probably noticed by now, I've made my bedroom into a sanctuary for my recording. And though they're quite thin, the fabric on the walls and the ceiling do help with the sound quality just a little bit. And reduce unwanted noise. And though the gear I'm using is quite cheap and cheerful, I am always trying to upgrade and look for better things. So, you know, other bedroom producers or producers in general might go for minimalism, shiny white MacBook on an uncluttered desk. Personally, that's just not me. But everybody is going to be unique in their own style. And though it may be placebo, just kind of like the sheets up here, the spaces that you're in do have an effect on your work overall. Being comfortable when recording is going to add to the overall sound, and it's going to give the process more meaning. The definition for bedroom production has never really truly been set as new players continue to come in and change the game. Some producers use softwares like Splice and Sonybus to collaborate, while some prefer more old school methods. But really it's about the creativity, the nicheness, uniqueness, the ambition. It's not really about gear or equipment or whoever has the shiniest USB stick. It's a labour of love. So bedroom production, it's not a substitute for playing music live together, but it is a way to stay positive, creative, and motivated doing the things we love.
Hey Brendan, Jessie here. I can't chat for long because it's my birthday today, but I just wanted to say a quick thank you for helping me with my music, and it's all going to be out soon. You can check it out on all these socials, Jessie Hiley, that's what it is on everything. Thank you so much.